win yesterday, and as soon as you get a driver like James Kellett on a roll, you start to get people saying, oh, what can we do to peg him in? But you also get the guys that are digging out the record books and saying, when are some of these records going to tumble? And Simon Pace, who's the absolute legend of getting the stats that this guy pulls out, looks after all Ginetta's PR, and he's absolutely incredible. And of course now we're starting to look at when was the last biggest winning margin, which I think this was the one yesterday was the third biggest winning margin in Ginetta history yesterday that James Kellett had. And if he wins this race, it's 5 on the bounce, which brings him up with 3 Toms, Tom Ingram, Tom Wrigley and Tom Sharp, who have all had 5 wins on the bounce. The record is 6 on the bounce, which is Tom Sharp. So really, you've got to say he doesn't fit in because his name's not Tom, but you know, hey, these records are there to be broken. So we'll see what James Kellett can do. So, having won Saturday's race, James Kellett starts on pole position. Remember, he's in the G56, as is Aston Miller. He starts alongside row 2, Tom Empson and Rhys Summerfield, who had a great race yesterday. Josh Rattican, he got a little penalty from yesterday's race. That puts him back to row 3 with the man who won in the amateur class for the G56, is Wes Pearce. Luke Reed won the G55 Pro category yesterday for Wolf Motorsport, so he's on pole there, but Blake Anglis is right with him on the outside of row 4. Then it's Henry Dawes back in the V8s, Darren Leung, who is the championship leader for the amateur class G56s, Colin White, and newcomer, welcome to the championship, Josh Poulain, who did very well with a class win in the 55 amateurs yesterday. Then it's Daniel Morris and Connor Garlick, followed by Gary Townsend, James Townsend next to him, Nick Halstead and Ian Duggan. That's on row 9. Row 10, Luke Waugh and Mike Brown. The grid completed by James Taylor, who didn't turn a wheel yesterday due to a drive shaft failure as he came out. Haven't heard that one for ages, but sadly it was James that broke that run of non-drive shaft failures, and he starts this one right from the back. Loads of work to do.
Yeah, it's a difficult circuit, you know, on the cars, to be fair. You know, there's so many, you can just see the dip here at Deersley. This is coming out of the last corner. There's so much compression that goes through the car. There's so much energy that goes through the cars. Doesn't matter what cars you're in, touring cars, Ginettas, single-seaters, so much energy through the car. So you've really got to look after them and hope you don't break anything.
So there is James Kellett, and alongside Aston Miller. Aston was a bit frustrated yesterday and saying to me, we really want to get on terms with James Kellett out front. And, you know, my take on it, it's not going to console him at all. As we look at the 20 car, which is Mike Brown, Aston's just out of juniors. This is his first season. He hasn't had the senior time, you know, where James Kellett's done a couple of seasons in the 55, and that makes a big difference.
It does, but, oh, is that Luke Waugh?
It is Luke Waugh, yeah.
I wonder what that's all about.
The race car consultant's prepared car is hopefully going to be taking a start from pit lane. We'll now get the green flag from the back of the field, so the marshals just checking everybody is okay. We are getting ready for race 2. Miller is going to have a go for sure from the front row of the grid. Away we go. Miller gets away well off the line, and he's side by side, and I have to shout because the V8s have roared into life. Aston Miller's got the lead. Rhys Summerfield challenging for second, slots into third, and it's James Kellett being made to work for this one. He's down in P2, and Miller is going to be delighted with that start, Paul.
Wow, we've not seen this, have we, before? This is interesting. So Kellett now has got to really fight for this race win, but Miller was brilliant. He was like a scalded cat off the line. Absolutely amazing stuff. Look at that. I think that was Poulin, wasn't it? On the inside there, going through Cascades. But look, Kellett's fighting back. Rhys Summerfield around the outside. Keep it all clean, guys. Oh, Kellett's going to take the lead.
Yeah, these are muscle cars, aren't they, in every sense of the word now. And Kellett tees up the inside, but Miller's got the run as they go up to Hilltop for the first time. Summerfield's coming up as well. Summerfield's into P2. Miller just sweeps across as they come down into the Hislop chicane. This is what Lawrence Tomlinson wanted to see when he introduced the V8, and this is just one of 4 classes in this racing. But it's Miller from Summerfield. Kellett, the championship leader, is down in third.
Wow, that was amazing. What a first lap. Kellett is down in third. He won't know what to do with cars in front of him now. So look at this, Miller coming through into Druids, and I tell you what, this is looking spot on, this is, because Summerfield is looking lit as well. But look at the leader, he is gone.
Rhys Summerfield in the 12 car, second place at the moment. He looks so at home to me in these cars. Came through the Caterham route. Our safety car already. What is that? We've got another car spinning around. Dan Morris glances the back of the car on the barrier. That's not, the safety car was deployed before that. Poulain is out as well in the borrowed Stuart Lyne's car that won the class yesterday, and they're going to have their own car ready for the next time we see these machines, which will be Knock Hill. And these things are crowded anyway. Okay, so the car that's out is James Townsend, third in the G55 amateur class.
He's beached. He's beached. He can't get that off the curb by the looks of it. So that happens a bit further on, but amazing stuff that was at the front. What happens in the midfield? He gets tagged and spun round by Gary Townsend, maybe, but he might have to. He's probably tried to get that car, that fluorescent car, off there, but I think it's beached. So do we see contact from the rear? It'll come in shot. Look for that fluorescent car. He'll probably come spinning into it, actually. Yeah, he just gets spun round, doesn't he? I think he's stuck on the curb there. But I tell you what, it was feisty up front. Look at that. Kelly was on the grass. But that 24, that is a real pain. I don't know if they've tried to push that, but once you're stuck on that, it's a nightmare. Poulain, nightmare. That's a disaster as well. Don't know what happened. The safety car boards were just coming out as that happened at Lodge Corner. I don't know whether there was a flag that come out and people... Right, so look up further back. The green car that's coming over the brow now. Oh, he just misjudges it and hits the back of him. He just misjudged that and he just clips Morris. So it was front left onto... Yeah, and then he thinks about... I think what's happened is his front left wheel is broken because he's got full lock on. The gravel isn't helping, and he's just trying to get out. But... yeah, he just misjudged that completely, probably because, in his defence, he's not used to driving this car with the length of bonnet it's got, and he's just misjudged it by the looks of things.
It's his first race weekend in Ginetta, and Motors One, great to have them in the championship this year. And Josh, 18 years of age, studies at Cheltenham College. He couldn't actually do all the testing on Friday because he was doing an A-level. And, we used to say that about the juniors who have this weekend off, the juniors, to get their exams out of the way. And Josh Poulain, very quick, did a bit of Mazdas.
Mazdas, yeah. I was speaking to Paul Sheard, who run him in the Mazda MX-5s, and said he's one of the quickest youngsters he's ever seen. I've driven for Paul, but I'm not young. So, yeah, he wasn't going to really say that he's the fastest person he's ever seen. But, yeah, Paul Sheard singing his praise. It's such a shame. And, yeah, well, it looks like Morris has thought, well, he didn't mean it. Maybe they've had a little chat. I don't know, because they are quite close to each other, I think, where they've finished.
Yeah, Dan Morris is running second position in the G55 AM class, and Ian Duggan here had a disappointing day yesterday. He leads the AM class. There is Josh, and he'll be back at Knock Hill. I'm hearing the V8s are going to be reined in noise-wise a little bit at Knock Hill, which is a pity.
Are they? That's a shame.
Apparently, yeah.
That must
That's
be
the whole reason we come and we want the noise, and
that's why we
said we want the noise, we want the spectacle, and
that's why we bring the V8s. It's interesting. Might be a problem at that particular circuit.
Yeah.
So Townsend's on his way. A replay of the start. So Millar on the right, Kelly on the pole on the left. He just launches, gets the steering wheel straight, gives him the option of staying there, but he thinks better of it. Kellett in second place, then Reece Sommerfield, watch them. So the front three really get a close one. It's when they come down to Cascades, it all starts getting real tight and close. But that first half a lap was absolutely amazing. It was really good to see that, they're not just going to roll over and let Kellett have his own way. Proper stuff, that.
And similarly in the amateur class for the V8s as well, we've got Colin White at the moment is ahead of Darren Leung. And I was talking to Colin yesterday, and he wasn't a happy bunny, and he apologised. I'm sorry for moaning. And I said, no, get it off your chest and tell us what. But looking at the points, he's fourth of the four drivers in the AM class, and that's not where Colin is used to being. And he's a fighter, and he'll want to come out and he'll want to do this. And this is a big thing for him being in front of Darren Leung at the moment, because he's found someone to race with, someone who's going to really take the battle to him.
Listen, I know Darren very well. Darren Leung in the 22 behind him, but Colin White in that 78. He's a gentleman driver, one of the fastest gentleman drivers I've seen in the CWS car. And do you know what? He'll be happy, really, that he's getting pushed along, because he was having it all his own way, Colin was. He's that fast, but Darren Leung's come along and a couple of the other guys, and they're really, really pushing him. And it's great to see, because they're really fast now in that category. And Colin needed to get pushed, in my opinion, because I was getting fed up with him winning.
Love you for that, really. There is Darren. I tell you what, when I wasn't here on Friday, I couldn't get up Friday morning, but was looking at TSL, that's the timing systems website, and seeing what was going on in in the test day on Friday. Really excited to see Charlie Robertson's name on. I thought, great, Charlie Robertson's coming back into but he was, I think, shaking down and doing a little bit of data for Darren in Darren's other car.
So I can't tell you how much in the 22 Darren Leon, he takes this, his business is very successful, but he takes this as seriously as his business is.
That mindset is always transferable, isn't it? Business to sport.
Honestly, Richard, I can't tell you. This young lad, to be honest, Darren, is unbelievable.
He's got to buy a new telly, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. We'll talk about the tele. Oh dear, he ain't happy with that. Jamie Stanley with the yellow glasses on top of his head, trying to calm the situation down. That did not look good. So he's very unhappy with, I think, maybe Gary Townsend, who did look like he maybe have touched the rear of the car. But yeah, it's tough, isn't it? When you get down to that hairpin. Is that the safety car? It's
a new formula. It's Lawrence's new formula for next year.
Needs to open that DRS on that JCB. It's got a bit of resistance there, isn't it? It'll get bouncing along. He should have a helmet on, shouldn't he, if he's on track, not JCB driver.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really difficult one, isn't it? But that'll be coming down for Pool Lane, won't it? That'll be going into the gravel and hopefully getting Josh out of the gravel there at Lodge. So that'll be done in a short while. So replay again. This is coming down to Lodge Corner, the first half. So green car in the background. Into the... Yes, he just gets it wrong. He just gets it wrong. Poulin in the green and white machine just doesn't move across to the right. He wasn't even in the braking zone. He just edged out too slow, and he's just caught his wheel on the back of that right rear there of our man. And it's a real... It's so easy to do that. Morris, Dan will be gutted about that, but maybe when he looks at it, he'll be like, well, it's one of those things. But yeah, it's a lot of damage, isn't it?
It is a lot of damage. It's a little bit of a shame. It's eating into the race time as well, as you can see the clock ticking down. So Miller and all these guys have got a chance. This is actually quite good news for Kellett, because he's got a chance to just get his head together, think about where he is. James Kellett is not going to be worried about whether he gets a run of wins, whether he gets in the record. He'd like to, but it's all about the championship for him, and a third-place finish is not going to be a problem for him.
Can I tell you something, though?
Yep.
Knowing Kellett like we do, I think it will be in his head. And as these seconds tick down, his head will be going. He's going to go on full-on attack. We're probably going to see, maybe, hopefully, the last few laps of this race being something pretty special, because I've got a feeling Kellett is going to go no holes barred.
Well, we hope. Just to put it in perspective, and I make no apology for repeating this, but Kellett was the driver one of the two drivers that beat Lando Norris in the Ginetta, well, red flag.
That's interesting.
That is interesting. We haven't done enough, I don't think, to declare a result, have we, yet, which is a little bit of a pity, but maybe we've seen some barrier damage, or things are going to take a little bit longer to get going. We'll try and get word for you from race controls to why. But you've got some speculation.
This could be a problem for Miller and Summerfield. Will Kellett start back on pole if they don't bring them? No, because they've gone more than the laps, haven't they? So they're okay. They'll just go back. That's fortunate, actually. That's fortunate, because they didn't red flag it straight away. They would have had to run back to what they actually started as, but now they will maybe...
So where are they putting...
They're not putting him on pole, are they?
No, they're going back, aren't they, to the...
Wow. Unless they're just lining them
Reece
up and
Summerfield
waiting.
is right behind. Reece was a little bit further back, wasn't he? So no, they're just lining him up for the moment. The drivers get a little bit... They'll be told by race control what is going on. Wes Pearce is class leader as well. Hopefully we get a chance to look at Wes Pearce, the white car, which is just behind the blue and white 27. Blue and white 27 is Tom Empson. And we see Wes Pearce there in 32, ex-motorbike racer, had his second AM 56 win of the season there, Surrey-based driver. And a quick natter with him. He's running with Breakout Racing and was very pleased with his race. And down behind him, Henry Dawes. Now, bear in mind, Henry Dawes yesterday had to start from the back of the grid. So where Henry Dawes is in the Domino's car, has come all the way through from the back in the previous race and this race. I'll tell you what we're going to do, though. As we are under red flag conditions here at Oulton Park, we're going to take a quick break. Grab yourself a tea and a bicky. We'll be back with you in just a couple of minutes. Welcome back to Oulton Park under red flag conditions here with the 5th race of the season for the 2022 Miller's Oil Ginetta GT4 Supercup. The car you're looking at is one of our newcomers to the championship, Josh Poulane, who just clipped Dan Morris, and that car needing to be low loaded away. Josh, bit of a story this weekend. It sort of turned up and he was in there and doing the testing on Friday and had a class win yesterday, the amateur class of the G55s, which is the V6 engine, the original formula as it were in terms of the 55s. But there was no sort of shouting or press releases or anything. He just sort of turned up, and the team did tell me earlier on, I was just chatting to one of the engineers before we came up for this race, and it was a fairly late deal to come in, hence there was no sort of fanfare about it, but made his mark on the championship with that first win, and he'll be very glad to have had that, but disappointed with that little bit of contact and bringing the race under reds. But he is, I believe, in for the championship, so we'll see Josh Poulane over the course of the year, which is the good news.
Yeah, well, he'll be a good addition, won't he? And a good addition to this championship is that man right there. He has been absolutely astounding, especially that first lap from Miller, Aston Miller. That was proper stuff. That really good first lap. Yeah,
getting stuck in. As I said to him yesterday, I thought the expectation was that first year, not as much time in senior cars, maybe he should just temper his expectation, but absolutely none of it. I think Lou is maybe going to grab a quick word with him.
I am indeed. I thought I'd scurry over to the grid and grab a word whilst we're waiting for a restart time with Aston. Talking of starts, I mean, well, what an amazing one that was first time out.
Yeah, we had a good start in race one. I know I just had to do the same thing. I don't think Kennett's quite mastered that bit yet, so I mean, you get an advantage there, but hopefully we can just get the same one again and crack on and do the same.
How critical will that be, do you think?
Obviously in this car you've got 500 horsepower, so it is hard to get it off the line, but obviously Kellett is fast. Just get.
Kellett has been, I would imagine, for the rest of you, frustratingly fast so far across this season. Does that mean that kind of getting the jump on him and getting a win from him makes it that bit more special, or is any win as good as any other?
I think it will, just to see his face not so happy anymore. Really starting to get a bit annoying, but that's racing. So yeah, it will be nice, but not going to say too much yet. We'll wait until the end of the race.
And how much are you enjoying driving this car? Because it's a slightly different car to previously, isn't it? Yeah,
massively. Obviously, in the junior, you've only got 100 horsepower. It's a big jump, especially for I'm 17. I don't really think much. So yeah, it's a big jump, but it's great fun, and what an opportunity to be doing this on the weekends.
And you seem to have acclimatised to it pretty well.
Yeah, obviously you've got so many buttons. A lot of them do all sorts of gadgets. But obviously it's great fun, and you just sort of you jump in the deep end and see where you end up, and I think we've ended up in quite a good place.
I'm getting the feeling though that maybe you need a little more insight from the team on what those gadgets are that the buttons do something with.
I probably should do, shouldn't I? Next weekend.
All right, I'm going to come back and test you. I'll let you get the head down. Back to you guys for a moment.
Thanks very much, Lou. And I love he sort of suddenly went diplomatic, didn't he? It was, I want to wipe the smile off Kellett's face, and then he sort of tried to be a little bit more diplomatic about it. And they are good people in the paddock, and there is some, but I'm not sure what the relationship is between Aston and James. I'm sure they get together and have a bit of a natter at some point, but that was a nice chat.
That was a great interview, that. Fair play to him. Whatever happens in the race happens, but it's good that somebody is willing to really push hard and make sure they can try and get on top of Kellett. Tell you what, that car looks in not a great way there. They've done a good job picking it up and sticking on the back of the low load. It's taken a lot of time, but that happens when you have a breakage on the front left. You can see that front wheel. It's probably straight on the steering wheel, but the toe and the wishbone's probably all broken, and you can see the marshals there and the recovery crew just trying to get rid of that hoist that goes on top of the car and lifts it up and make sure that it's as flat as it can be when it gets lifted in the air. Very difficult to do that.
So that car has got to be repaired before it goes back to Stuart Lyons, but still we're very nearly there, as you can see, but we're going to take another quick break and we'll be back with the resumption of racing for you in just a few minutes. Welcome back to Oulton Park. The clearing up has been done. Josh Poulane has gone back to the paddock. He's out of the race very sadly, but we are about to get going again here with the restart. We've got a new grid because we were 2 or 3 laps into the race when the incidents happened. Here's how they line up. So, pole position, Aston Miller from Reece Summerfield. Championship leader James Kellett is 3rd, and then Josh Rattican and Tom Empson. Wes Pearce lines up in 6th. He's the leading amateur class driver. Then it's Henry Dawes and Colin White. Darren Leung on row 5 with Luke Reed. Then Blake Anglis and James Taylor, who's worked well through to row 6. Ian Duggan and Mike Brown on row 7 from Nick Halstead and Connor Garlick. Gary Townsend and Luke Waugh on row 9. So, getting ready for the restart. Is that Paddington?
Was he visiting the Queen last weekend for Plattitubes? That's Paddington there, isn't it? That's a lovely shot, isn't it? A young girl watching fantastic racing. Not at the minute. She's trying to find.
She's waiting for the V8 to kick into life.
She's waiting to find some marmalade sandwiches there, isn't she, for Paddington?
Yeah,
but great stuff that from our directors, showing us the fantastic crowd here at Oulton. I'm so proud to live 15 minutes away, mate. This place is stunning.
Always really good, friendly people, and they love the race. It's always a good crowd, isn't it? It just says a lot about there's nothing else to do up here.
Yeah, well, yeah. I liked how you winked there. But just different, different types of people watching. It does make me laugh when they see themselves. They all point at the camera, look, hey! lads. Absolutely amazing. But yeah, it's great to see them all, and it's great to see them waving back and not doing anything that's going to get us in trouble.
Absolutely right, unlike last year, which we won't move. We'll fast forward on from that very quickly indeed. The only other thing about these V8s, and I've got to have a word with Mr. Tomlinson about it, who came up with the idea, is that when the cars go, we're really close to the track in our commentary box. So I have to turn everything up so I can hear our directors and you because of the noise. Never had that before. Green flag at the back. We're getting ready for Supercup action. Take 2, Reece Summerfield on the outside of front row, right of shot, to the left of shot, Aston Miller, the Ginetta junior champion. Here we go, Miller gets it off the line again, nails it. Are we going to see that? I'm shouting because the V8s are in me lug holes just to the side, and up into 4th place. Well, challenging. It was a good go, wasn't it? But Kellett hangs on to 3rd. He's being challenged as they head down Cascades and Dentons for the first time. But Miller and Summerfield are away side by side for 3rd. Kellett's got the right side of the track as Josh Rattican is there as well. Rattican was actually with us at Thruxton, even though these cars weren't. He was coaching Adam Brown, and Summerfield's having a look there as they go into the hairpin and goes a little bit wide. This could be one place back here.
Tom Empson's caused an absolute nightmare. Traffic jam in the middle of everything. Nowhere within, just nowhere to go. That will keep going. I'm sure there won't be a safety car for that. But look at that. Kellett is under attack. Josh Rattican in 4th place. He's trying his hardest to get past him. Oh,
Darren
no,
Leung.
Darren. And that, can you get it out the way? Yeah, keep going. Yeah,
Darren. Well done, Darren.
So what's going on there? So look towards the middle and the back. You'll see the car is going to get...
Empson tagged by Henry Dawes.
That's right, okay. And there you can see Darren Leung is into the back in that 22. He's into the back of Colin White.
And Wes Pearce involved as well. So who is going to grab the amateur class one?
Henry Dawes just went in too late. But look at that. There was nowhere to go, and they just couldn't slow down enough. And the 22 went into the back of Colin White.
That's taken out the top 3 in the 56 amateur class. That is just going to throw the points awry totally.
Yeah, that's going to be a nightmare. That shot was very concerning of Marshall's actually trying to get away debris. They'll have gone now. I can see a flashing red and yellows. Now, there was still a flashing red. That might be...
The red and yellow is the slippery surface flag, of course. So
the LEDs were flashing red. I think they might have been left on, but anyway, we're still going.
I think the red was to go with the yellow, flashing red and yellow. We haven't seen the manual on it yet, have we?
Could be, you're right.
But there was a slippery surface flag in there as well. Back to the race, and it's Miller. Look at this. All the top guys are together. Summerfield under pressure in 2nd place from Kellett. And then we've got Rattican in 4th. I'm trying to work out who's going to win the AM class in this one. I don't think there's going to be anybody left, is there, in the 56 AMs? What a race we've got on here, though, with these 56s. And Miller is absolutely ringing it.
Richard, I've just threw my programme down because this is looking tasty, mate. Kellett is lit He's having to defend. Ratican's flashing his lights at Kelly. Are you having a laugh, mate? Go on, son, have it.
Josh Ratican did a season with us last year, ex-junior driver. He's got the run on the inside on the switchback. And is he going to pass the Supercup, the Ginetta legend here? He's got the inside line, and James Kellett is in a race side by side. Kellett knows that he needs to finish. He won't do anything silly. Oh, goodness me, as soon as I started talking about records, we had him down to third. He's now down to fourth, and I'm saying he ain't going to do anything silly. He'll want every point that he can get here. Remember the car in fourth place, that number 6, the Roston Gold car by Century Motorsport, unbeaten at Brands Hatch in 3 races. There are only a select few that have ever done that. He's down in fourth. Millard, the leader. Summerfield, who looks really at home in these cars to me, is in second place in the orange, white and green car, and then back to third. Let's see whether Ratican can haul himself back up under the rear spoiler of the number 12 car.
Oh, Kellett's flashing his lights now at Ratican, who's passed him. Look at these boys go to 21. Ratican, what a move that was. It was absolutely amazing. The number 6, Kellett, the guy who wins everything, he's just been proper schooled by Ratican. The only thing I will say is a lot of these drivers are trying so hard they can easily energise these rear tyres that they're driven by, and they overheat, the pressures go too high, and they're quite undrivable. Then they have to back off and do a cool down lap as the leader is now having to defend massively. Look at this, late braking. Summerfield trying to get down the outside. Will he get the switch back? It looks promising.
He's having a go here. Reece Summerfield, he's new to this car as well, remember. First year for everybody, and Summerfield's got the lead. He passes Aston Miller. Summerfield into the lead. Miller down to second. Ratican third. Fourth place is Kellett, and now watch Miller coming back.
Millard's coming back. Summerfield was slow off Old Hall, but like I said, they've energised the tyres too much. They're trying too hard. They've not got Kellett, who's just gone up the road. They're all backing each other up. Summerfield is going to cause chaos. The top 4, this is the best race I've seen all day. This is mega.
So it's Summerfield now. We've got the third place car coming into the mix. Ratican to the outside line, side by side with Miller. Just overrunning there is the 12 car. Miller's got to try and tuck back in. Ratican gets a good overlap here as they come up towards Hilltop and going for second place, but Miller's got the better run. He's squeezing him across the track. Now he's got Kellett right under his rear wing as well. And through on the inside goes Ratican into second. Miller's down to third. Fourth position is James Kellett, the championship leader. And do you know what? Summerfield's looking in his mirrors and chuckling to himself and getting a bit of a gap.
Wow, Summerfield has made so many mistakes in the lead, but he is gone. He is gone up the road. Second, third and fourth is just unbelievable. Ratican is just wiping the floor with everybody behind him as well. Look at the gaps are here now, so it'll calm down again. But look, Kellett in fourth is flashing his lights again.
Yeah, the battle between those two. Ratican, of course, a major championship contender as well. What can the Roseland Gold car do? Can he close in on the DTO Motorsport car? Here's a rerun. A little pass further back. Oh, what a tap. The 32 car, Wesley Pearce.
Did you say a pass further back? That was a crash further back, mate. Good that they both got away with that. They didn't mean it. Fair play.
So Wes Pearce actually got going again, didn't he? So he is second in G56, and Mike Brown could get the win in 56, and fair play, Mike. He's going to be well chuffed with that. He'll be the first to admit he's not the quickest of the drivers, hasn't had the time in these cars, Mike Brown, but that'll be superb for him. There he is in the 20 car. Wes Pearce right behind him. So that is the battle for the AM class in the 56s. Great to see those two boys fighting out for the top step of the podium in that class.
Yeah, they're going at it, aren't they? Like the pro guys at the front as well. This is proper stuff. Action aplenty. All we ever talk about here is, oh, it's difficult to overtake, it's this, it's that. This is one of the best Ginetta races I've seen in this class. Brilliant stuff.
Connor Garlick is in behind as well. He's in the 77 car. And Connor, at the moment, running in his 5th in G55 Pro, which is led by Luke Reed from James Taylor, who's got ahead of Blake Angley. So Taylor from the back of the field, after a non-start, effectively, in race number 1, has bullied his way, or worked his way through. Colin White's back on track, which is good to see. Never give up, Colin White. He is third in class. Valuable points for him here.
Yeah, no, I didn't think he'd get back going. He was in a real predicament, wasn't he, down at that hairpin? But I tell you, Ratican's coming, fastest lap, and purple sectors everywhere. Purple being absolute best. I tell you, he's catching. Reece Summerfield's wide. Summerfield in the lead, wide again. Ratican, he's got this one won if he keeps it on the track. 2 minutes and a bit to go.
Reese is the word at the moment, but how long is it before we get the rat-a-tat-tat of Josh Ratican having a go? The Yorkshireman chasing hard, closing in, 2 minutes to go. It is going to be, I think, a grandstand finish here in the Super Cup. Summerfield out front, Ratican second, Millar still in third. Kellett, I tell you what, I wouldn't have put money on this if it stays like this as a result.
This is great to watch. I'm glad to see that Kellett is not having it all his own way, and Summerfield is wide through the first apex, wide through the second apex. He needs to get out of Knickerbrook as best as he can. Ratican is going to try and he's going to go for a move at Lodge, and it's after this corner coming up, and that is Druitt, and this is fast. Fifth gear, bit of braking, get her turned in, front axle bites, car gets on it, over the crest, flat out. Look at Summerfield oversteering. He wants this badly.
Aston Miller had a moment on the grass there. That will lose him a little bit of time in third place to James Kellett, who's trying to close down him. Kellett now can, I think, get the smell of that podium. He's got a good run here. Is he going to be able to go through? No, he's not quite there, but he's close. Here they come across the line. Is this going to be the last lap? Possibly. 1:21 on the clock. The lap time's here, 1:24. It's going to be nip and tuck. Kellett challenges Millar for third place. Millar there at the moment. Let's just watch Kellett. Doesn't use too much curve, does he?
No.
Very precise is Kellett.
But he is, but look how close he is. He's going to have a look, is he? Millar is driving beautifully. He'd be gutted that he's not leading this race, but this is amazing. Here we go. He's either going to run wide here, Summerfield, or he's going to have to really stay tight. Is there going to be a switchback? He gets it turned in. Ratican's going to get a better drive out. Oversteer for Summerfield. Oh, and the move's on as well. Millar trying to fend him off in for third place. Well, where'd you look?
Oh, I know. Where do you look indeed? Here comes the battle for the lead. Summerfield keeps it tight. Jinks out on this last lap just to try and defend and get a little bit of a run through his lobster chicane. Out of Knickerbrook. Ratican's all over the back of him here. He's worrying him. He's harrying him. He's trying to force him into a mistake. Ratican second. Summerfield, though, is the race leader. Millar still third from Kellett. Henry Dawes is in fifth place. It's going to be a good result for Henry as we watch them through the final couple of corners.
Yeah, don't think it's over yet. I'll tell you what, it's not over yet. Look at this. Summerfield's having to defend for his life. If he can get the switchback, Ratican could be on, but I think he's done enough.
So, are we going to see another win? He's had a problem going into the corner. Ratican dives through. A glance on the car as they come through the last corner. And contact. Around goes Ratican. We've got a wheel off. Oh, not the way we wanted to finish the race. And it's James Kellett that comes through. Kellett wins from fourth place on the last corner shenanigans. Millar in second. Summerfield crosses the line with a very badly damaged car. Henry Dawes in fourth position, and Josh Ratican's car parked up. Josh is okay, he's out of the car and just walking down back towards the start-finish line. There is Josh Ratican. Marshall's just checking that he's okay, and they want to get him out of the way because the other cars are coming through. Now, who won the other classes? Luke Reed takes fifth overall and wins G55 Pro. The G56 AM goes to Wes Pearce, who got the better of Mike Brown, who finishes second, and the G55 AM goes to Ian Duggan.
Wow. I did not have that. I was just about to say they've done so well to not barge into each other with proper racing. It was brilliant. That last corner, I want to have a look at it again, but Kellett has done an amazing job. It's good to see the people who've had that accident look okay at the minute.
Yeah, what an end to a race. You know, I was getting ready in my head to say what a race Summerfield had driven. And
so you might have heard me scream because Summerfield goes in deep in the 12. He then knows he's game over. Ratican doesn't really realise he's there, but then Summerfield, with no braking and maybe no throttle, just drives in the back of him. I mean, look at it. So bit of a hip and shoulder. Can't really see from that angle as they come over the. Oh, tell you what, Millar was lucky in that DTO car.
So lucky, Paul.
That was a massive near miss. We should be counting our blessings. Look at Millar. Oh,
how did he get through that?
I tell you what, if he'd have hit the corner of that pit wall, we wouldn't be as jovial as we are now, because that was horrendous. So Summerfield in the lead, brakes too late, locks the rears, oversteers, 21 Ratican down the inside. So there's not enough room for Ratican to carry the speed. And I don't want to be horrible, but Summerfield looked like he didn't brake, and it turned Ratican round. It looks like both of them just wanted the same part of the tarmac and they didn't get it. I'm going to be interested to see what happens about that, because that was one of the biggest near misses I've seen. I didn't like that.
Really scary to watch.
Was, mate.
Really, really scary. A driver who's had a lot of bad luck over his career is James Kellett, who we'll come back to. That's Carlito's mum, isn't it? Carlito Morocco's mum and dad walking down. I think to congratulate Luke Reed on taking the class win in 5th position. James Kellett, over his career, has had a lot of bad luck, and you know, to come through and get, that's the kind of result that you can get, the fortunate result where you can, and you know, he earned it, he worked hard and everything else, but his dad will be chuffed to see some luck. There is Reece Summerfield just trying to take stock of that, and that's a big hit for him as well.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what, Summerfield, if it was me driving the car, I'd have been a bit aggrieved because Ratter can come through so fast and squeezed him as he come through, but it was just the same part-timer. So look at that. So Rattigan comes through so fast. I think he's broken his left rear already, but they will look at Summerfield's momentum and speed into the back of Rattigan. But watch this now. Watch his black and white DTO car. He just misses. I think he even gets a little clip. How close? Look, he appears from nowhere. If he'd have hit that pit wall, the marshals stood on the corner, did not move. I don't think they had a chance to move.
And Miller coolly handled that.
He didn't panic, and he kept the throttle just on a bit and slid all through. I've never seen anything that close at Oulton Park on a Toco weekend. Unbelievable. And that has been the busiest vehicle on track today, is that flatbed. Again, so Summerfield, down the gears, on the brakes, he loses the rear, slows it down, and Rattigan comes through, as he should, but Summerfield tries to come back at him, but that looks awful from Summerfield. I know Reece, I know he wouldn't do that on purpose, but it looks terrible. It just doesn't go on the brakes, and I don't know if he's on any throttle. It's difficult to say from here, but awful.
So a little bit of clearing up to do, and that'll push the schedule here for sure. Let's take a look at how they finished then. The Class 5 result, Miller's Oil's Ginetta GT4 Supercup Championship Round 5. And James Kellett does get himself in the record books with a 5th win on the bounce. Joining the 3 Toms, Aston Miller in 2nd place from Reece Summerfield and Henry Dawes. Luke Reed, congratulations to Luke on winning G55 Pro for the V6 cars. James Taylor, great drive through from the very back of the grid into 6th place and 2nd position in G55. Blake Anglish completes the podium, and then it is Tom Empson from Nick Housted in 9th place. Wes Pearce winning the G56 AM class, another with 3rd win of the season for him. Mike Brown was 2nd in class from Colin White, then Conor Garlick 13th ahead of Ian Duggan and Luke Waugh next up from Josh Rattigan. Ian Duggan winning the G55 AMs, by the way. Josh Rattigan, well, we classified 16th, and then we had problems earlier on in the race, obviously involving the 2 Townsends, Darren Leung and sadly Daniel Morris as well. Reece's car being pushed away, which is something probably we didn't expect to see. We might have thought that would have been low-loaded. But here are the championship standings. The next time we see these cars will be Knockhill in Scotland, and it's James Kellett who leads by 38 points from Reece Summerfield and Tom Empson. Josh Rattigan is in 5th. The AM class, Wes Pearce now leads the championship from Mike Brown, with Darren Leung 3rd from Colin White. G55's headed by Luke Reed by 4 points ahead of Blake Anglish, with James Taylor getting himself back in the picture in 3rd from Nick Housted and Conor Garlick, and the 55's headed by Ian Duggan from Daniel Morris and Luke Ward. James.
Red flags and black flags and yellow flags, and a lot of track repair activity required as well. This was the moment, well, a few minutes ago, a heart-stopping moment at the end of the Ginetta GT4 race. Reece Summerfield involved, Josh Rattigan, Aston Miller somehow avoiding the wreckage, and James Kellett inheriting the win as a result. And thankfully and miraculously, all are okay. And I believe that, well, we heard from Reece a few minutes ago, but we can hear from Josh Rattigan now with Louise.